I heard soft mumbles. The movement underneath me was comforting. I slowly opened my eyes. I was in a car. The seat warmers were on and I was wrapped in a blanket. I was covered in dirt and my hair was a mess. "Excuse me?" Mizu's face came from around the passenger side. At least I knew I was with a friend. Wait a second. If that wasn't a dream, then Mizu was a giant dragon thing.
Glad to see you're awake. Any longer and you would have died in that cocoon.
I knew that it was good that I didn't die, but why would I have died? Who saved me? And why was I now in this car with Mizu and someone I didn't know? He could tell I was unsure about the guy driving.
Don't worry about him. He's the one that saved you. Allie, I would like to introduce my friend, Rio.
Rio gave no response. He didn't seem very friendly. I wondered how this really nice guy Mizu is friends with this stuck-up prick Rio.
Don't mind him. He's just a grouch sometimes. He's actually the one that saved you from the golem. I'm so sorry. I couldn't get to you in time. His friend was harder to kill than I anticipated.
I wouldn't have to come out and save you if you didn't make these ridiculous friends who get caught and nearly killed. Listen here, girl. You need to stay away from these fights. It's not safe for a human like you.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. For some reason I felt the need to apologize.
Now that that's all settled, why don't we head back to my place to get you cleaned up before we send you home? We wouldn't want your parents thinking that you were rolling in the mud.
I laughed with him, and I could see a faint smile on Rio's face. I guess he's not too bad, after all. We got to Mizu's house, and it wasn't what I was expecting. It was huge, with 3 stories, and it stretched as wide as 3 townhouses pushed together. Rio didn't seem surprised, but I was up against the window shocked. Not only could he see the insects too, but he was as rich as hell.
Could you not put your dirty hands on my car? I just cleaned it. That's why I wrapped you in those blankets, so you wouldn't get the leather seats dirty.
His attitude was starting to get to me. I couldn't help it. I ripped the blankets off and whipped my hair to release some of the dirt that was wrapped inside. Rio screeched on the brakes. He unbuckled his seatbelt and turned around.
What the hell are you doing? I just said don't get the car dirty with all of your filth.
Well, sorry. Your attitude is starting to piss me off. You act all high and mighty, but what's with you? You're just like everyone else. Mizu's the only one that has something to really brag about. He's a friggin' blue dragon that killed those golem!
Watch your mouth, girl. Mizu works for me, not the other way around. Yeah, he's a giant blue dragon that can control water. But then there's me, Rio. Do you know what word Rio sounds like? Rio is the English way to say Ryu. It's a Japanese word that means dragon, which originated from the great dragon of the east, Seiryu. I'm Seiryu.
His eyes became a crystal blue, which were a complete contrast to his ash hair. I could feel immense power coming from him. Behind him, an outline of a dragon appeared, its teeth the size of my head, and eyes a crystal blue. What the hell is going on? I couldn't help but ask. Mizuchi is a giant dragon that controls water, but this guy Rio was an even bigger dragon that influenced all masses of water. What have I gotten myself into now?
Hey, you two. Rio, be nice to her. She's with us now. So we need to ease her into our world.
She doesn't belong in our world. Just 'cause she can see the yokai, she thinks she's so special. But really, she's just a very, very unfortunate girl.
Rio, please, shut up. Allie, this is my home. You're welcome here at any time. Let's all go inside, shall we?
Rio didn't look too pleased with Mizu, but listened anyway. He was a stuck-up prick full of himself because he's a humongous dragon. Big whoop. He carried himself as if he owned the whole frickin' world. Still, what if he's a big shot? He should still act a little normal and not like a condescending jerk. Inside Mizu's mansion, everyone in the building dressed in black and white. They bowed as Mizu entered and raised their heads to
Welcome back, Master Mizuchi. Master Rio, my friend.
Oh, she's no friend of mine.
I wasn't too sure if anyone else heard, but I was walking closely between Mizu and Rio and just happened to hear. I wanted to make a face at him, but I was too nervous to look away from Mizu's back. I clutched the back of his shirt, kind of scared of all the maids and butlers. I had never been bowed to, so I was honestly kind of scared. He stopped suddenly and I bumped into his back.
You don't have to stay so close. It's safe in here, I promise.
His words seemed reassuring, but I continued to trail close behind. Rio walked confidently with his hands in his pockets. I hadn't noticed since we had been sitting in the car, but Rio was also quite tall. His ash hair was trimmed to fit around his ears and head perfectly. His eyes were naturally a deep brown, but in the car they had become a crystal blue. I guess he really was a big dragon. What had he called himself? Seru? No, that wasn't it. Seryu, that was it. When he wasn't talking, he seemed like a nice guy, but as soon as he opened his mouth, I knew something mean would come out.
This is my room. Explore all you like.
When he opened the door, inside was a large room, absolutely beautiful. A large canopy bed with royal blue drapes. The whole room looked like it had been based on water. The carpet was a deep brown, but matched nicely with the dark wood features of the bed, dresser, and large vanity. I had never taken Mizu as one to focus on his looks, but looking at his room, then seeing him there, I could picture him right at home. You have amazing taste! The whole place looks great! Mizu smiled. I could tell he was proud of his work. Behind us, a man in black and white stood at the door.
Master Mizuchi, your father wishes to speak with you. The sudden Unearthed demon activity has been rising. He's called a council meeting. I'm sorry, Master Siryu, but this is for the minor demons. Please, relax.
I could tell that Rio was really respected in this house. He smiled and took a seat in one of the chairs on the opposite side of the room.
I'll be there in a moment. Thank you, George. Allie, I hope you don't mind, but I have some business to take care of. I'm sure since Rio isn't busy and doesn't have to go, that he will show you around. Right, Rio?
I nod, but Rio jumped from his seat.
No way in hell are you leaving her with me. Take her home. I told you before she doesn't belong here.
So fix her up. She can borrow some of my older sister's clothing. It'll fit, I'm sure. Then show her around the house. I'll be home by then. When I say show her, I mean really show her. Don't half-ass it. Show her outside too. It's beautiful at night.
Rio couldn't object. Being in Mizu's house, he had no place to argue, even if he was higher in power. The Japanese culture was very respectful. That I was sure of. Mizu left and Rio sat back down in his chair.
You can find some clothes in the next room on the right. His sister no longer lives here, and she's away on business anyway. She won't mind. Oh, I don't know why Mizu makes me do this stuff.
I didn't want to be with him either. I went to the next room. This room looked like Mizu's, only it was a rich purple color instead of a blue. I walked over to the closet and opened it. Inside was a walk-in closet with racks and racks of clothes. I guess she really wouldn't notice. I took out some jeans that were soft and would be comfortable, and a blue t-shirt with an A embroidered on it. I walked into the bathroom. There was a door on the other side that probably led into another closet or something. I got undressed and took a short shower and washed all the dirt off. I got out and blow-dried my hair. I got the jeans on just fine, but the shirt was too small. I tried to get it on, but my head wouldn't fit. I stood there for a moment, guessing what I should do. If I walked out into the room again with no shirt, and someone walked by, that would be bad. But I can't put on the other shirt because it was still all dirty. Something behind me began to shake. It was the knob to what I thought was a closet. On the other side, Rio's head popped in. I screamed. His face turned bright red and he slammed the door behind him. He had nothing to be embarrassed about. I was the one who was just seen without a shirt. I didn't care. I walked across Mizu's sister's room and pulled out another shirt, not caring what it looked like. I grabbed my clothes and put them in a plastic bag under the sink. What the hell were you thinking? You knew I was in there!
Why do girls take so long? I thought something happened, and if anything did, Mizu would blame me.
Whatever.
Come on. Mizu wanted me to show you around.
Just as he had promised, Rio showed me around the house. I learned where all the rooms were, and learned that Mizu's sister's name is Amy in English, but is Emeona, the rain spirit. That would explain the A on the shirt. Apparently, she was still in Japan working out business among the water demons. I couldn't believe that I was taking this so calmly. I had been thrown into this world of demons at a young age, and didn't even know it. He showed me the courtyard. It was the biggest garden ever. Shrubs grew along a stone walkway with roses in bloom, or at least I thought they were roses. Rio explained that they were a demon flower that was poisonous to wind-manipulating demons, a sleep drug to earth demons, and a potent truth serum, and can make water demons even drunk. I thought maybe if I could get Rio drunk, it would be funny, but he was being nice enough to show me around. At the end of the path was a pavilion. In the middle, it had a fountain with stone benches all around. Can we sit in the pavilion?
Sure. What do I care?
I had never seen anything like it. I was so excited, like a child in a toy store. I grabbed his hand and dragged him with me. I didn't want to be the only one having fun.
Hey, what are you—
Come on! He wouldn't admit it, but I could tell he had fun. Maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all. It had been the first time I think I had ever seen him with such a big smile. We got to the pavilion panting. He was laughing and panting, which wasn't helping his capability to catch his breath.
You are like a child.
But you had fun, right? He wouldn't admit it, but I could tell he had fun. Maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all.